Wow, everything looks really, really good today. So today's weather almost made up for last night's wind. However, I wanted to come out here and take a look at the yard, make sure there was no damage from that, and see how the plants are doing. And with this nice cool weather, everything just looks really, really good. I mean, these mango flowers are just insane this year. Do you see the size of that thing? Compared to my arm. I'm getting some little mangoes on there. This thing is just full. This one over here is especially large. Look at the size of that. That is just absurd. Getting new growth on pretty much everything. Black sapote, getting some new growth. It's a Suriname cherry, red Suriname cherry. It's looking really good. These leaves are just enormous. It's a red one. Got a black one over here. The black one's doing well also. It's got these huge leaves. All the mangoes. Jujubee's coming back, so I cut this one off. Stumped this one, and he's coming back. Peaches. There's thousands. Just thousands of peaches. Persimmon looks really good. This is a fuyu. All the mangoes are just full blooms. Blackberries are coming back. Blackberries and the grapes. Avocados. All these look really good. So these are the ones that I tried to kill by overwatering them last year. So I just watered these every day. I even watered them in the wintertime to try to kill these avocados, and as you can see, it didn't really work. It's a Haas and a Zatano and a Forte. And that's a Pinkerton. Starfruit's coming back. He's getting his new growth, and he's getting some more flowers. Maybe this one will fruit. This one's still pretty small though. The Longan. This is one of my favorites. So these bloom similar to a mango. Looks really good. Hoping to get some fruit off of him this year. Coffee. Coffee's getting some new growth. This is a wax apple. It's getting a whole bunch of new growth. I had this one in a pot and I wasn't sure if I should put it in the ground or not, but as soon as I put this one in the ground, this one like just jumped out of the ground. This is a red wax apple. You see he's got all this new growth. And just noticed some flowers there, some flower buds. So maybe I'll get to try some fruit off of this guy. But yeah, I'm glad I planted this one. So now I'll shed all these old leaves and put on some of these new ones, which have changed shape too. So see how these older ones are like big and round? The new ones, from being over here in the sun, are like long and narrow. So he's already adapting to the valley by making a smaller, narrower leaf because he can't support those big round ones. He looks good. All the mangoes do. Everything's just really green today. That cool weather. That's an Alfonso mango in the back there. And this pomegranate's just gotten out of control too. So this was one of those $1 clearance pomegranates that I just threw back here. And this thing's just enormous now. In 2 years. This thing's like 16 feet tall. And he's just full of blooms. I don't know if I can get up closer. He's got a lot of blooms on him this year. This one gives really big fruit. This persimmon, this is also a Fuyu persimmon. This one's gotten quite large this year because I let some sunlight back in. He's getting some blooms there. This one's already fruited. Moringa and castor beans. Everything's so green. So green today. This is a curry mango. Starting to bloom finally. It's a Floragon mango. And a plum. Plum squeezed back in there. And there's a fig squeezed back in there on the side of it. Oh wow, this is really pretty today. It's honeysuckle. Hummingbirds love this plant. So I have this growing on this shopping cart. Wow, that is just really full of blooms. Look at that. That is awesome. So I have this growing on the shopping cart that I welded on a post. So I'd have this like 3-dimensional trellis, and it looks really cool, especially with these flowers. Just mounded up on top of it. I want to try this with dragon fruit too. I think it would be really awesome because the inside of the basket could just fill up with the cactus, and it could get a lot of mass and hold a lot of weight of the cactus. Mangoes are starting to flush now. He's still setting some fruit. Apples. Some of the peaches are just now waking up. This is a green gauge plum. It's really green. So is this Tango mandarin. I mean, that thing is just green. So that's a really happy citrus right there. That's what they should look like. Mexican cream guava right next to him. He looks really good too. He's getting some blooms. Yeah, this weather, this cool weather and overcast makes everything look really good. Kiwis are just waking up. That's a female and a male. And there's a persimmon in front of the male that I just put in. This is a Tanashi. And then this is another female. Kiwi. Fuzzy kiwi. This mango is setting some fruit. Got quite a few. Getting some good size on them. Hopefully he'll keep a few of those. It seems like he's got about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mangoes per each one of these little bracts. Now, I don't know if he'll hang on to that many. That's quite a few. I would say probably 1 per bract. At this size, I'm not really sure. We'll see this year. Roses, nectarine, lime. This lime looks really good too. This is a beers. Just super green. The pecans are waking up. He's getting some leaves finally. You've got a lemon guava underneath it here. These 5 different kinds of oranges. These guys all look good. Bagel peaches. Some little bagels. Oh man, these apples. These apples are just insane this year. So this is an Anna. And they're everywhere. They're like hidden this year, all amongst the leaves. But he's got quite a few. And then this other one, this golden Dorset, I don't even know what I'm going to do about this one. Like, this one is just really full. Getting some bigger ones here. These were first. But then all these. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do about those. I like that they're real close to the trunk too, and on real short little spurs. But man, there's like 60 apples right there. Not including all the ones on the tips. All these oranges look really good this year. This mango too. Man, this is one of my favorites. I love the blooms on this one. And the color. This Loquat. This was one of the ones I planted from that video. This one got really big, really fast. I think this one's like a year old. He's got a nice trunk, and this thing's like, I don't know, 10 feet. And huge leaves. Huge leaves. And we can call this one full sun because this one pretty much is. This one gets full sun. It gets maybe an hour of afternoon shade. But that's about it. So the trick with loquats really is you can plant them in the full sun, but you have to water them. You just have to water them. You may have to water them every day. You may have to water them 2 times a day to get those things established. But if you want them in the full sun, that's where they'll grow. But I understand most people aren't going to do that. They're just not going to baby that thing that much. So that's why I tell people partial shade or morning sun. But they'll grow in the full sun, and they look great, and they don't burn. The tips don't burn. It's just all about hydration, literally 100%. That's the trick with loquats. That's really the trick. There's no other trick. Just lots of water. Very simple on these. The St. John's wort, I really love this stuff too as like a ground cover filler, because look at the green on this. Like, that color is really really nice. And these leaves, they feel like velvet. They feel exactly like velvet. And he gets a really pretty bloom too, but he's a really nice filler. You see how he fills underneath this apricot that is behind this loquat. So there's the apricot, and that thing got like, I don't know, almost 20 feet in a year and a half. And that's because he was planted by the wall, which is my favorite, absolute favorite place to plant things, is by block walls, which is where everybody else really shies away from planting things because they think their trees are going to burn up, but they're not going to burn up. Let's see what else is over here. These castor beans. So if you want really quick microclimate, it's these castor beans. I mean, these things will grow like 3 feet in a month from seeds. I have to just keep cutting these off because these are starting to shade out my apples, and I didn't even plant these. These are all volunteers. And literally they'll grow from a seed, really. See that St. John's wort? That just looks really awesome. Goji Berry, that one's finally doing pretty good. Dwarf Peach, he's waking up. Artichokes are too. Oh, nice. So these are blooming too. So this is a double flowered peach blossomed pomegranate. So that one's not quite open, but this will fully open, and they kind of look like carnations. And it's just that wonderful salmon color on this pomegranate. I've never seen another one of these either, but this one is one of my favorites. So this pomegranate looks really good too. Yeah, these castor beans, see, they'll just grow and fill in and give you shade for your other tropicals if you're wanting to build a microclimate like this really fast. I used the shade screen that I built, but you could use castor beans. In fact, here's what they do. So these are all seedlings. Like, I didn't plant these. These are castor beans. And this is what they do. Here, let me come around the other side. They're not in the path because I walk on them, and when you step on them, they're gone. So the cool thing about these castor beans are, if you don't want them, you just pull them up. And that's it, they're gone. Like, it pulls the whole plant up. See, but they just pop up everywhere. Like over here, look at this. That's just solid castor beans. All these are castor beans. They fill in like the spaces. Like, they know they're a microclimate builder. It's the craziest thing. Now, of course, I'm going to pull these because I have these aronias here, and I don't want them shaded out by the castor beans, so they're going to have to go. Hey, give me that. Give me that. Come here. You're going to die if you eat those. Okay, so yeah, everything's looking pretty good in the back. I think this lychee is, yeah, he's got some new growth too. I just noticed this last night. So the lychee is really happy in his spot here. The avocados, all the avocados are happy. Some really good growth on those. The grapes though, I don't know what I'm gonna do about these this year though, because these things are just completely out of control. Like, they have just filled in everything. Every little space that's left is now grapes. You can see them up there. Fruiting, mulberries coming on. But yeah, let me get around here. Look at these grapes. And this has just begun. Like, we've only just begun. So this is the first flush. This is the first flush. This will have the grape set. And then it's going to flush again a little bit later in the summer. But he is just really green and just kind of pouring out of everywhere this year. All on top of the guest house. That's all grapes. Tons and tons and tons of grapes already. Look at this, even on the ground. Grapes on the ground. They're everywhere. Up in the trees, you can see a bunch up there in the magnolia tree hanging down. I had to untangle them from this mulberry. I swear this mulberry, some of those berries are like 4 inches long. This is a Pakistani, and this one's got some huge berries this year. Yeah, so this little spot's happy at least. But I'm gonna cut the video off here because I didn't actually mean to make it that long. Oh, yeah, I saw this. So I grafted a cherry tree onto this purple flowering ornamental plum. And I noticed it took. One of them took. I put about 8 on this. And I think I see one in the back that took for sure. So 2 and maybe 1 over here might have taken. Should be 3. So yeah, I want to convert this purple flowering plum to a multi-grafted fruit tree. And I thought I'd start with cherries because I had some scions left over from that. So I'm definitely going to leave some of the purple plum. All right, guys, video's long enough. Thanks for watching.